What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today, we're doing the NFC West draft grades. Previous video is the AFC West draft grades. It will be linked in the description below. The Instagram to the 206 to 559 podcast is right here, and it will be linked down in the description below as well. Let's get into it. Like the previous video, the first team you see is the division loser, and the last team you see is the division winner. Teams in between are in order of the teams that I believe are going to be by the end of the season. And let's get into it. Sadly, starting with my Seattle Seahawks, I think they're going to be the bottom of the division. High hopes. 6-11 is our best. I think 3-14 is realistic. But I did give Seattle a solid B grade, not just because they're my team, but because of the prospects that I saw on this board. And let's get started at pick 9, Charles Cross. I was really hoping it was Jermaine Johnson. I was really hoping it was one of the corners, but they went top 5. I hoped Kayvon or Evan Neal fell here. I would have happily taken Malik here, but Charles Cross, really good tackle. I think he's very reminiscent of Walter Jones. I think how grounded and how sticky he is to these counters and double moves. Really underrated. The best pass blocker in this draft for sure. Gave it a B+ pick. I was willing to give it an A-, but I felt like maybe we could have traded down to maybe 13, 14 and got Cross, or maybe even traded down and got Jermaine. But I like Cross. Very good pickup. Could be a A+ by the end of this year. Pick at 40 in the second round, we took Boye Mafe, edge out of Minnesota, real defensive lineman, 6'3", 6'4", 265. Gave it an A- grade. I had him anywhere going from 30 to 64. So here at 40, right in the first half, third of the draft of the second round, gave it an A- pick. Feels in the back end of the first, maybe a B+, but I liked where we took him, A-. I think he could be an 8-9 sack guy immediately for us here at pick 40. Pick 41, Kenneth Walker out of Michigan State, running back. Sadly, yes, we have Carson for another year. Yes, we just extended Penny for another year. Yes, we have guys like Homer for another year on his rookie contract, as well as DJ Dallas for 2 more years. But Walker here at pick 41, the second best running back in my opinion. A good low center of gravity, straight line speed with strength and balance out of a running back with upside receiving ability is what I think they see in him. And that's why they take him at 41, next best player. Sometimes it's always not Phil of need, it's next best player, and it was Kenneth Walker on the board. Yes, Malik was here, and Malik was here at pick 32, our next pick as well, at pick 72. But I like the guys we think. I like the way they're thinking. Carson could be a trade piece. I could see 4th, 5th round going for Carson. Penny, keep him, strictly 1 and 2. Maybe Kenneth comes on 3rd. Kenneth could play special teams as well. So I like that pick, B-. Pick 72 in the 3rd round, Abraham Lucas, double dip at tackle. Watch him battle for right with, Jake Curran, or if you want to swing Stone Forsyth. I think Abraham Lucas and Charles Cross will be our right and left tackles for this year. Yes, both rookies, but yes, both very good pass blockers in pass blocking schemes. Pick 109 in the 4th round, Kobe Bryant, really good pickup. I like him. I like the size. He's going to battle for number 1. I gave it a solid B, but pick 153 in the 5th round, he's going to battle for number 1 as well. Tariq Woolen out of UTSA, big 6'3", 205-pound corner, 4.2 speed, extremely big, long, lanky, and physical. I could talk all day about him. I'd love to see him, Kobe Bryant, just play 1 and 2 corner and just play cover 3 and say, if you make mistakes, you make mistakes. If you make big plays, keep making big plays. If you play okay, play okay. But, these are 2 guys that I think in the 4th and 5th that Seattle can really develop through their rookie contracts. And when it comes time to extend, that it'll be time to take over this cover 3 scheme if they really want to stick to it. These are 2 really good cover 3 corners. Pick 158 in the 5th round. This is one of my edge rushers, Tyreek Smith out of Ohio State. big fan in the 5th round. I had him going anywhere from the late 3rd to the early 5th. So I gave it a solid B. Was gonna give it a B plus, but we just did take Boye Mafe, and I do like our edge rush room with Darrell Taylor and Alton Robinson, as well as Uchenna Nwosu coming over from the Chargers. So it's going to be a very stacked edge room. But if injuries happen, or if Smith ends up pulling through the summer camps and preseason, I could see him going 6, 7, 8 sacks his rookie year as a rotation guy on 3rd. And then Bo Melton, one of my guys. I had Kansas City taking him in the 3rd in one of my mock drafts a couple of weeks ago. Before this Bo Melton hype, people had him going in the 3rd again, and then fell realistically to the 7th. B plus draft grade. I like our receiver room. Of course, we're going to always go with more speed. Bo Melton, really reminiscent of a faster and quicker Doug Baldwin to me. Pick 233 in the 7th round. I would have really loved Carson Strong here. This would have been the S plus steal, not just because it's my team, but I think Carson Strong, if it wasn't for the injury, probably could have been a very early day 2 quarterback talk. He's made throws where he just doesn't miss. He's made throws where he makes NFL throws where 2, 3 guys in the NFL can make those throws into those windows, and then injuries there, and then just the inconsistencies are what caused him to fall. But Seattle takes Derek Young out of Lenore Ryan, big physical dude, 6'3", 225. He's going to be our possession guy. He's going to be a project guy, a DK Metcalf hoper. We'll see what he really turns out. But I gave Seattle Seahawks a solid B draft grade. And now let's move to the San Francisco 49ers, who I gave a C draft. Initially, I thought it was a little bit worse. And then after I think back about it, I really like this draft a lot. You see the 2 highlighted guys I like. Drake Jackson out of USC, taken at pick 61. Gave it a solid B grade. This is where I projected him, anywhere from mid to late 2nd. So I gave him a B plus grade. B plus, anywhere from B to B plus is projected pick value. Give it a B plus. I think he has a lot of upside. Very thin lower body, but I think he's a good stand-up 5 technique, 9 tech wide edge rusher for them. Strictly 3rd down, and can develop into, I think he has nice run stopping ability. Tyrion Davis Price at LSU, horrible pick, D minus. You got Trey Sermon, you got Elijah Mitchell. You don't need to take it back until maybe the 6th or 7th round here. This is just, this is one of their guys, probably scheming him up a little bit. Could have special teams ability, but we'll really see what it is. I give it a D minus pick, did not like it. This is probably one of their guys. Danny Gray, receiver at SMU. This is probably one of their guys. Would have went with probably would have went with 25 other guys over this guy. Pick 105. C minus, like I said, one of their guys, so can't really knock him too much. Didn't watch film at all on him. Watch Reggie Robertson. He flashed a little bit, but really watch Reggie Robertson film. Pick 134 in the 4th round. They took Spencer Buford out of UTSA. I think he's better at guard. C minus pick, another one of their guys, probably a very scheme dependent pick, so that's why they drafted him, to fit the scheme. Samuel Womack, DB out of Toledo. I say corner, but maybe safety, maybe backup safety role, maybe dime safety, maybe dime corner. At pick 172 in the 5th. This is probably one of their guys out of Toledo. I think he's got really good slot ability, but he's going to be very dependent on the situation. Nick Zakil, hopefully I didn't butcher your name, out of Fordham. This is one of those small school stabs that probably they fell in love with at one of those smaller camps or one of those, individual workouts. Can't knock him on that C grade. Kalai Davis out of UCF. I call him a defensive lineman. I like his size. He has a little bit of flexibility. I think he's at 294, 295 at 6'4". So a little bit of defensive line flexibility. Didn't like him when they lined up at 1 or nose. I think he's a pure 3 tech defensive lineman. C plus in the 6th. I had him going undrafted. And then here's one of the back end steals. I'm a big Tariq Castro Fields fan, corner out of Penn State. I think he has free safety ability. I think he reminds me of I think he has very underrated range. I think he could be an Earl Thomas eliminator here. I think he could be a a late round steal for the Niners, even though they're my arch nemesis. I think that he's going to be a guy that if you really let him develop and fly around at 110 miles an hour, he's a guy that's going to really pay off for you. I gave it A plus. And then pick 262 in the seventh round, Brock Purdy. I gave it a B minus pick. I had anywhere from a late third to fifth round pick on him. Teams getting him there. Falling to the seventh, I only gave it a B because you spent such a high first round pick on Trey Lance. So doesn't really fit a need. Very good backup, can develop into maybe a subpar starter, a fill need starter, but a superb elite backup for sure. Gave the Niners a solid C draft. Now we're going to go to the Arizona Cardinals, who had the best draft in the class by a mile, to me personally. To start off with pick 55 in the second round, Trey McBride out of Colorado State fits the biggest need they have on the team. A plus pick. He's going to come in and be their number one. I see a lot of Jason Witten. Oh my gosh, what's that Steelers? Heath Miller. I see a lot of Heath Miller. I grew up, when I started really watching football in 2009 to 2013, that was like when my first spurt of football started, Heath Miller, Tony Gonzalez, Aaron Hernandez, Gronk, these guys were the guys that I liked a lot, looking up to Jimmy Graham. And I think Trey McBride is very reminiscent of all those guys. I think he's probably the best combination tight end and is the best tight end in this draft class for me. Solid A plus out of Colorado State. Pick 87, Cam Thomas. I think he's a true defensive end out of San Diego State, traditional old school guy. He's just got a lesser profile than Karlaftis, but I think they're very similar in motor and play style. Cam Thomas out of San Diego State. I give it a solid B plus. Myjai Sanders, he's a pure 5 tech edge out of Cincinnati. Gave him a solid A plus grade at pick 100. Could be one of the biggest steals. I'm going anywhere from the early second to the early third. So falling back here at the end of the third, great value. Pick 201 in the sixth round, Keontae Ingram, big power back, sixth round pick. Gave it a B plus. I had him going anywhere from the fifth to the seventh. So I projected where he went. Really good. He's going to immediately fill in as the big third down goal line situation, short yardage back. And then Lacita Smith at an offensive lineman out of Virginia Tech, A plus pick. Had him going anywhere from the late second to the early third. So falling all the way to 6 was A plus. He's gonna immediately fight for a job on the inside. Christian Matthew out of Valdosta State. This is one of their guys, C minus pick. A good pickup. He's gonna battle for maybe a 3-corner job. And then Jesse Luquette out of Penn State, really undersized guy. Don't understand the pickup with all the linebacker depth you have and the investments you have. Yes, he's probably going to be a good special teams guy, maybe fullback if you want to transition him. But really, really unnecessary pick, D plus. And then Marquise Hayes at 244. He is one of my guys. I had him going from the third to the early fourth. He's a phone booth box, old school guard, reminds me of Steve Hutchinson. And I think that he's really underrated in pass sets, and he's just immovable in the run game. And if you want two guys that are going to, two late round guys that are going to really develop in their back end of their contracts, in year 3 and 4, these guys are going to want extensions, and they're going to get big extensions because I think these guys are going to be on this team and make really, really big impacts. Gave the Arizona Cardinals an A minus draft grade. Going to the division winners again, the Los Angeles Rams. I think they had a horrible draft, one of the worst drafts in this class. It was a lot of my guys. It was a lot of my guys because they didn't have to draft for a lot of need. But here we get into it. Los Angeles Rams. We're going to take Cole Strange at 104. Got taken at 29 by the Patriots. Video coming up next. We have Logan Bruss out of Wisconsin, offensive lineman. Probably a guard. This is a lot of these guys are their guys, so not a lot of my guys. He's not even a top 300 prospect for me. Gave it a D minus. Jacoby Durant at a SC State. I gave it a D plus. At least it feels, at least you take an early shot in the dark at your guy that is a position of need. They do need another third corner, and Jacoby Durant in the fourth has the profile to play that. Pick 164 out of Notre Dame, Kyron Williams, really speedy. Didn't straight line test speed great, but he has great film speed. Very scat back, receiving like ability. He's one of the guys that I could talk about a lot. He's a guy you have to get in space. He's a guy you're going to motion, kick returns, punt returns, slot screens, outside runs, a lot of pitches. Just get him out in space. Let him use his special low center of gravity ability, and let him make the man miss. I gave it a solid B. Quentin Lake at pick 211 in the 6th round, safety at UCLA. Gave it a B minus. He's a really good safety. This is projected where I had him 6'7". I liked him a lot. I think he's lanky. I think he could fill at nickel slot corner if he needed to. But coming up to their pick of the draft, one of my guys, Darion Kendrick, I had anywhere from a late second to a late third on him. So here at pick 212, and the 6 is an absolute steal. A plus. I think he profiles as a number 1 trash talk corner. I think he's one of those big head ego guys. I really think that he's a mini Jalen Ramsey. And here at pick 212, if you could get a smaller Jalen Ramsey, I think a guy with the same, tenacity, physicality, and ball skills that he had. I think he's a very good underrated corner. And there's some things off field that people don't like, but I think he's one of those can't miss 3rd round prospects that I list. And then pick 253, this is one of their guys, Daniel Hardy out of Montana State. Didn't really like the pick. He's their 2nd best linebacker to Troy Anderson. So taking him at 233, 235, special teams guy, might find some time to the injury, but if you want to keep him for 4 years, he's a cheap 4-year special team guy. Pick 253, Russ Yeast out of Kansas State, not even on my 500 board. He's one of their guys. Take a shot, D plus. And then AJ Arcuri out of Michigan State, tackle, one of their guys at pick 261. Another one of their guys. Not even one of my top 25 tackles. Shot in the dark for me, but one of their guys for them. Gave it a D plus. I did like the Darion Kendrick, Quentin Lake, and Kyron Williams pickup, as well as Daniel Hardy being, special teams and maybe a fill role guy for injury. Like the middle of the draft for them, but overall D plus. They did have the worst draft in this division and so far, but I do have them winning the division. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you all you Cali and West Coast fans for always tuning in, checking in on your teams. If you're new, please subscribe. If you're returning, like, comment, what you want to see next. If you want to be included in a video talks, power rankings coming up after all my grades are done. Sorry for the long pause. Thank you guys for always being supportive. Previous video will be down. Instagram will be down in the description as well. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And always thank you guys for tuning in. And we'll catch you guys on the flip.